Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. I'm your host, Matt Tardio. Russia got caught red-handed today. Oh boy, did they. And it looks like the Ayatollah is finally cracking. We got a lot of shady things that are going on around the world. And Putin, by the way, decides that he's just not going to show up to any peace talks. We got all that crap and a heck of a lot more coming at you, including an ISIS plot that ended up getting thwarted over here in the United States of America. While we're sitting back waiting on everybody to roll in, I want you guys to enjoy some sweet, succulent footage of an F-22 in slow-mo doing some badass stuff. Yeah. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dude, that is an F-22. That is not the IDF. You know who's got the F-22? We do. That's it. That is the coolest video I've seen in a really long time. No, that video, ladies and gentlemen, that video was 100% real. For anybody that thinks it's not, that is 100% a real video filmed in, like, I think it was like 4K 938 frames per second on a Phantom Flex. That is just a freaking badass video of an F-22 Raptor. And yeah, for those that don't know, we don't sell that to anybody else. America keeps the F-22 to itself. We maintain that sucker. It doesn't get to go anywhere. It's ours. It's ours. We don't give it up. All right. Let's get into it. Feds ended up thwarting a freaking terror attack today, and you wouldn't believe the city that ended up getting named in this freaking indictment of this individual. I think some of you guys might know what ended up happening, but it looks like a former National Guard soldier decided to be a good idea to go and try to attack and freaking kill a bunch of soldiers on a freaking base. Why is it? Why are you being this way? Why are you the way that you are? Oh, that's why, because you're a stupid ad and I clicked on you. That's what happened. All right, here we go. Feds say that they had thwarted an ISIS terror attack in Warren military base in Tacom. We're going to go over this in just a sec. Look, bottom line, this is a 19-year-old kid. That's the kid. Somebody said, that's the kid. Yep, Michigan. Yay. Guess what town in Michigan? Who wants to guess what town in Michigan ended up getting called out in his freaking indictment that I'm about to throw up on the screen? Who wants to guess what town? What do you think? What town in Michigan do you think possibly got named? What do you think? It's a really well-known one. Starts with a deer, ends with a born. Dearborn, Michigan. Wouldn't you freaking know it? That town popped up. Everything that's going on. Yep, Dearborn. Detroit. Not Detroit. Dearborn, Michigan. Yep, imagine that. Former member of the Michigan Army National Guard was charged after prosecutors said he tried to attack a military base in Warren on behalf of the Islamic State. All right, so you know what? Let's just save you guys all the crap. Let's just get over to his indictment, and I'll show you guys exactly what he did. Here is the U.S. District Court document. It's his criminal complaint. Basically, his freaking, I don't know. It's his criminal complaint. It's his arrest warrant. It's what people are swearing that he ended up doing. It's what gets his ass thrown in jail. All right, so let's go down and take a look at it. All right, so obviously this was the FBI ended up catching this freaking guy. They basically had this guy Ammar Abdul Saeed. All right. They caught him red-handed. They charged him with these two things up here at the top of the dock. Where did I go with it? Where did I go? Where did I go? Where did I go with the two charges? Attempting to provide material support and resources to a designated FTO, foreign terror organization, and distributing information related to a destructive device / explosive. It actually ended up being a Molotov cocktail. Little weak, in my opinion. It's like the kid was reaching really far. He got some time in the National Guard, thought he could freaking make Molotovs, but didn't get him very far. He ended up, getting hooked. Long story short, this reminds me of a lot of what ended up taking place up over in Oklahoma. Where he ended up basically speaking with some undercover agents that pretended to be somebody else. He had expressed wanting to, attack the military base over at TACOM. And yeah, there you go. U.S. Army's Tank, Automotive, and Armaments Command facility at the Detroit Arsenal in Warren, Michigan. In April of 25, FBI undercover personnel, purported to be a fellow ISIS supporters, indicated to Saeed that they intended to carry out Saeed's planned attack. So Saeed helped him plan this attack. He also talked about being able to provide ammunition, training, things of that nature, all that other BS. And at one point in time, here you go, including through the use of an aerial drone, providing ammunition and magazines understood would be used during the attack, including armor-piercing ammunition, training regarding the use of a firearm and construction of a Molotov cocktail. Now, this is part of the thing that just kind of like made me laugh. Because the guy had very minimum time in the National Guard. I think it was like 2 years or some crap. Like, it wasn't much at all. And he's like, I will train you how to be a freaking killer. Like, good on him and the freaking nasty girls. So on 13 May, so yesterday, he was dressed in black clothing and arrived at the park in Dearborn, Michigan, as planned. He and an undercover agent drove from the park to the pre-selected location near the TACOM facility approximately 10 minutes before they arrived. One undercover agent called another one and let him know that the first undercover agent and Saeed would be arriving soon. Saeed and the undercover ultimately arrived at the location they previously designated in the parked their vehicle. They then called the other guy and let him know that they had arrived, and Saeed launched his drone for the purpose of aerial surveillance before the attack. Law enforcement arrested Saeed shortly after he launched the drone. At the time of his arrest, UCE1 was still on the phone with number 2. This affidavit is based, blah, 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 blah. So basically planned to carry out an attack, ended up launching a little freaking drone for surveillance, and he was like right there on the cusp of doing it. So not only did he get caught red-handed, he got caught red-handed with like a couple undercovers. Basically one of the biggest morons on the freaking planet. That's gotta be a hard job, man, to like go over there and pretend like you know what the hell you're like you're going to be boys with this dude, like you guys are going to be friends, then you end up at like, I don't know. I don't think I could play along with shit like that for that long. Trump offers Iran a choice: drop nuclear weapons or face maximum pressure. And that isn't a joke, you guys. This speech ended up coming out yesterday, and somehow I missed it. Incog Faraday coming in and gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Appreciate you, brother. This speech ended up coming out yesterday, and I completely and totally missed it. Here, Donald Trump just straight up threatens him. And people are saying that Trump had extended an olive branch to Iran, saying that basically that they'd be allowed to enrich uranium. I didn't hear that. I listened to the whole dang thing. I see people quoting it. People see people claiming it. Listen to the video, and it's not there. Let's actually give a listen to what he said, because what he said is actually pretty damning. And there was another one that he ended up coming out with as well on Air Force One today, where he basically said Iran's running out of time, and if they want to play games, it's going to hurt really bad. I wouldn't want to be on the other side of it. But listen to what they're saying, because this is his olive branch that he's extending to Iran. So when you hear people talking about olive branch, this is what they're talking about. Oh yeah, you want to play these games?
The most destructive of these forces is the regime in Iran, which has caused unthinkable suffering in Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, Iraq, Yemen, and beyond. There could be no sharper contrast with the path you have pursued on the Arabian Peninsula than the disaster unfolding right across in the Gulf of Iran. Think of that. Yet I'm here today not merely to condemn the past chaos of Iran's leaders, but to offer them a new path, and a much better path toward a far better and more hopeful future. As I've shown repeatedly, I am willing to end past conflicts and forge new partnerships for a better and more stable world, even if our differences may be very profound, which obviously they are in the case of Iran. I have never believed in having permanent enemies. I am different than a lot of people think. I don't
Land
like
the plane,
permanent
Trump.
enemies, but sometimes you need enemies to do the job, and you have to do it right. I want to make a deal with Iran. If I can make a deal with Iran, I'll be very happy if we're going to make your region and the world a safer place. But if Iran's leadership rejects this olive branch and continues to attack their neighbors, then we will have no choice but to inflict massive maximum pressure, drive Iranian oil exports to zero like I did before. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
That's basically it. That's basically what he said. I mean, that is the gist of it. That's basically what he ended up saying. So somehow people ended up taking that and saying that, you know, Trump offered to have them have some sort of nuclear or uranium enrichment capability. I didn't see it. John Wilson says ICE agents raided 2 manufacturing plants in a town 25 minutes away from me and arrested 8 total people from 2 different businesses. That definitely sounds like something ICE would be up to. I know down in Austin. I think it was Austin, Texas. They arrested like hundreds of them the other day. It was freaking insane. Gone down there. So 8, dude. Those are small numbers for ICE these days. I don't know what the hell they're up to, but those are rookie numbers, man. They need to turn that crap up. If that's all they're pulling is 8. Sky God's in the house, coming in, just dropping 20 Speak the Truth memberships like it's hot tonight, bringing in the freaking heat, bringing in the heat. All right, so Trump said, again, this one ends up coming out today, and this is from the Times of Israel. He doesn't want a violent resolution to Iran's nuclear program, but it's their decision. Trump on Air Force One, again, when being interviewed, I can't find the dang clip. I actually went on Stinchfield tonight, and he played it for me right before I went on. I was like, son of a B, that is a brand new clip, and I didn't hear that one yet. But no, Trump was very adamant about wanting to freaking basically blast Iran if they don't come up, and he said that their time's running out. Their time's running out. He said we're on a very short timeline. And I think that short timeline has to do with Israel going in and beating the hell out of Gaza. Obviously, they ended up bombing the crap out of it yesterday. They ended up taking out, allegedly, Mohammed Sinwar, along with a couple other key leaders from Hamas. But they continued on with more airstrikes up in the north. I could bring you guys tons of those. You know what? You guys want to, hold on. I was about to ADHD off onto Gaza, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to show you a pretty cool airstrike video that came out of Gaza yesterday. Shows this dude just getting thrown across the screen. It's pretty freaking awesome. But here's what just actually came out, and NBC said that they came out with this. And this was pretty profound to me because at least it's a step in the right direction. But it's not what the U.S. has suggested. It's not what the U.S. has wanted. Top Iranian officials. Oh, dude, stop with your silly ads. Top Iranian official says Tehran would forego highly enriched uranium and nuclear deal with Trump. What this article goes over is that a top Iranian official, basically one of the highest one that answers to the Ayatollah, came out and told NBC News that they'd be willing to get rid of all of their highly enriched uranium. They'd get rid of all their highly enriched uranium. Admit that, yes, it can be made into nuclear weapons. So here you have Iran literally admitting it in this article. John Wilson says it came out of a small town in South Dakota. So the numbers reflect both the small town size and they aren't terribly big facilities, maybe a few hundred people at each. Okay, well, we'll take that, brother. We'll take that, right, as we go down. The statements that Iran's ready to do it are pretty ridiculous. So asked if Iran would agree to sign an agreement today if those conditions were met, he said yes. He said Iran would commit to never making nuclear weapons, getting rid of its stockpiles of highly enriched uranium, which can be weaponized, no shit. Agree to only enrich uranium to the lower levels needed for civilian use. Great. And allow international inspectors to supervise the process in exchange for immediate lifting of all the economic sanctions. Well, that's great, but the problem is Iran is a really big country, and they already have multiple nuclear facilities that they haven't actually came out with. They're not in compliance with the NPT, which they signed to. And so now this is Iran saying, well, hey, trust us again. And I don't think we can. And I don't think we're going to either. I went over this the other day. The statements from the current administration have been very clear on this. Iran will not be allowed to enrich uranium. They will not be allowed to generate or create nuclear weapons, and it is a non-negotiable for us. This deal that Tehran is coming out with, I've seen people freaking out over it because Trump went to the Middle East, and now all of a sudden Iran is coming out and saying that they're going to go over it. And so while Trump was going through the Middle East, maybe he met with, like, the Ayatollah somewhere on the side. No, it didn't happen. Jude Chase, I still say no attack on Iran in the month of May. Jude, man, I know my freaking timeline's been way off. I don't know what the hell's happened to me. Caught up in all the other crap that I've been dealing with in life. So I'm back at it, though. Don't worry, I got your back now. But Trump's literally saying that they got days. We've got all of the triggers that are falling in place right now. We've got Netanyahu about to go into Gaza. We've got an aircraft carrier that ended up getting freed up that was over off the coast of creeping towards the Arabian Peninsula the other day, or the Arabian Sea. Then we have the peace talks that are going on with Putin and Zelensky tomorrow. Only Putin decided he's not going to show up. Zelensky said he's not going to show. If Putin doesn't go, it's kind of pointless, but he said that he would go. It's kind of weird, but we're going to go talk over it here in just a sec. But they're still going to go about doing that. Tomorrow, there's supposed to be a representative from the UK. I want to say it was Germany and France, whatever the E3 countries are, I forget. I want to say it's like the UK, Germany, and France. They're supposed to be showing up in order to try to talk Iran out of getting their asses bombed. And that is kind of like our last Hail Mary approach for Iran so that we end up not bombing the freaking crap out of them. But I think that's just going to be an endless possibility. Like, it's going to happen. Iran's not coming around. Linda Lou says, Matt, wow. Ayatollah came out and made a stupid speech insulting POTUS. So, yeah, well, Ayatollah is going to do Ayatollah things. Just kind of like how the Houthis the other day, I don't even know if I told you guys this, but the Houthis ended up making a video claiming that the U.S. ended up retreating and that they didn't want to. It was the most ridiculous thing ever. Yeah. That's all we're going to say about that one. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the Ayatollah comes out and he makes his own rhetoric, and they're just going to keep on keeping on with everything that they do. Putin, not on Kremlin list of officials attending Ukraine peace talks in Turkey. Well, that sucks because what's his name? Secretary of State Marco Rubio just landed over there a little bit while ago. He's got some other things that are supposed to be taking place with, between him, NATO, and all that other garbage. So they're over there. And then tomorrow, he's supposed to be heading up to meet up with the diplomats from Ukraine and Russia in order to discuss a peace deal that's taking place. Who are they sending from Russia? Great question. I forget the guy's name. I didn't see Lavrov on there. Who was it? Where'd it go? Yep. All right, so here's Zelensky's response. Zelensky ended up saying that he would go to the talks with Russia, but only if Putin also attended. We know Putin's not attending, so now Zelensky's probably not going. He said, I'm waiting to see who will come from Russia, and then I will decide which steps Ukraine should take. So far, the signals from them in the media are unconvincing, he said. Well, no kidding. Putin doesn't want to go. He thinks it's freaking pointless. Like, absolutely ends up thinking it's pointless. So I don't think there's anything going on in it. Like, truthfully, I really don't. Zelensky ended up putting a social media post out that said there is no point in prolonging the killings, and I will be waiting for Putin in Turkey on Thursday. Personally, Zelensky wrote on his social media post, well, Putin's not going. And if he does go, I will be highly impressed. Kremlin ended up confirming it as well, that Vladimir Putin will not attend the peace talks in Istanbul. And so I don't see Zelensky going anymore. Russian negotiation team, it's going to be Medinsky and Guluzin. Yep. And Kostokov. Can't even pronounce their dang names anymore. That's who they are sending. Yep. And because of that, it looks like with Putin not going, because Trump had said that if Putin ends up going and Zelensky's going to go, well, hey, maybe he'll end up showing up over there. But it looks like Trump actually ended up canceling his
a bit of an
go around as well.
Earlier this week, as we were traveling from London to Riyadh to get to Saudi Arabia for Donald Trump's trip there, he urged Volodymyr Zelensky to meet face-to-face with Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, took that challenge up and said, I will come to Turkey and I will sit with you and let's strike this deal. Let's bring an end to the bloodshed. So there's been a lot of conversation over the last few days whether President Trump would go to Turkey, whether Vladimir Putin would go to Turkey. Certainly, Volodymyr Zelensky said that he would be there, and some parts of the U.S. Delegation. We're now getting news, first of all, that President Trump will not be going to Turkey. And second of all, it appears that Vladimir Putin has released and drawn up his list of delegates, and his name is not on that list either. So we'll have to wait and see how this actually pans out. But just in breaking news now, Donald Trump will not be going to Turkey. He will be leaving Doha and heading to Abu Dhabi, to the United Arab Emirates. He will not be going on to Turkey for what would have been potential talks between Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. And Vladimir Putin has, in the last few minutes, put out a list of delegates, and his name is
Great. Thanks, lady. That was probably one of the biggest wastes of time I've ever put you guys through. I'm really sorry for that. John Wilson says, also just wanted to say a big thank you, my friend, for keeping us all informed with the truth. That doesn't hold enough weight for all you do, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, congrats to Rob on graduating from the academy. He hasn't graduated yet, but he will very, very soon, at least that I'm aware of. Tom Bones, Epoch Times reports FBI to give Epstein update. Yeah, I mean, unless they're going to be releasing the files, I'm not going to necessarily call that an update. But okay, yeah, if that's what they say, I mean, we'll check up on it. I'm not really holding out too much hope for that at flipping all, like at all. All right, so let me get this up on the screen for you guys and get it going on. Rubio ended up arriving over in Turkey for the Russia peace talks and meeting up with other people. They're going to be discussing. I could put these videos up on the screen, or I could just tell you what they're going to be going over. They're going to be talking about, like supplies, weapons, things like that. Like basically like troop positioning, things like that throughout the region. And Marco Rubio is going to attend that today, and then he's going to be pushing on to go to the Russian talks in Istanbul tomorrow. So that's what's going on. John Wilson, very generous of you, brother. I really, really appreciate you. Rob is out of the basement. I don't know if you can tell, but he's not in the bunker. All right. He's at training. I told you guys this. All right. Don't worry about it. Rob's not here. So let's talk about Russia getting caught red-handed today off of the coast of Estonia. How's that sound? You want to talk about Russia getting caught red-handed? How much have we heard about Russia's spy ships operating out over there, cutting cables and doing all sorts of shady shit? I know China got caught. All of these people have been having it. And the last time I think I reported on this was when a freaking cable got cut in between Estonia. God, man, I'm brain farting on it now. I'm gonna have to pull this up on the map and go take a look at it. Give me a sec here. They ended up getting caught doing this crap a while ago, and it was suspected that they ended up cutting this cable. And they were like, well, I mean, winter is about to set in. So it was like right about, when the hell was it? I forget. Yeah, that's right. Estonia and Finland. It was like a cable that ended up getting cut between Estonia and Finland. Well, when the boat ended up getting caught today, they ended up running away really, really fast. And I'm going to talk to you guys about it just here in a sec. HuffPuff said, I saw the most ironic thing yesterday. Dude Day was driving a Tesla and charging at a Tesla station, but he had a shirt that said F Elon and F the felon, with F Elon stickers covering the Tesla logo. I don't understand people's issue at all. I mean, it's kind of ironic to me that like the liberal side of the house, like truthfully, the liberal side of the house used to be like the pro Tesla crowd with like the whole electric vehicle thing. And then ever since Elon ended up like jumping over to like the Trump administration with Doge, they all just got pissed off and ran away. I've seen very similar things, believe me. And I'm always, I don't want to say questioning it, but God, man, what the hell is wrong with people? I can get over it. Like you either like the car or you don't. It's a car. All right. Trust me, your Tesla bumper sticker is not changing people's opinions on those things. I don't like them. I think they're pieces of shit, but that's just me. All right. So Estonian Navy attempted to detain a vessel called the Jaguar. It was a crude oil tanker that was operated by the Russia Shadows fleet. Estonian Defense Force and border guards deployed a helicopter along with some maritime patrol aircrafts, other boats and everything else in an attempt to intercept and halt the ship, but it refused to follow the orders. They eventually deployed the Su-35S to fly over the tanker in attempts to scare away the Estonians. So good job, Russia, diming yourselves out. Who then violated Estonia's airspace, on and on and on. But long story short, here is a video of all that crap going down.
This is Estonian warship, Papa 6732. Your request will be denied. Follow my instructions. Alter your course to 105 immediately. Over.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Mick.
वो हमारे जस्ट ऊपर अभी सामने से हमारे ऊपर आ रहा है.
Weird, isn't it? A freaking Russian oil tanker ends up getting intercepted, and Russia decides it's time to send over one of their freaking MiGs. That makes good sense.
एयरक्राफ्ट है. हाँ, ड्रोन जैसा ही है ये. स्टार्ट साइड में और वो टर्न कर रहा है. She's turning towards the stern of the vessel.
Ну давай. С разгона.
So what I ended up hearing or reading on as far as like the latest update on the ship goes was that it eventually had like dropped anchor at some point, like went over somewhere, dropped anchor is what I read. And then I just read not that long ago, like literally right before I came on the show, that the ship is actually able to successfully run away and make its way back into Russian waters, and they ended up not pursuing it. But the deal is, this is a huge escalation, because not only will that ship never be conducting operations anywhere, right? Anywhere again, because now it's freaking known. Like, they're on to them. Like, so I don't see that ship operating anywhere again. Do people actually speak Estonian? But probably people that live in Estonia. I would assume they speak Estonian. I would assume that. They also speak really, I mean, they hate speaking Russian, but they can. Oh yeah, we just avoided nuclear war between Pakistan and India recently, didn't we? Yeah, allegedly we did. All of the Indians are really pissed off. It's a whole other freaking ballgame when we talk about Pakistan and India and what people are complaining about over there. Also ended up, like, Burkina Faso ended up hitting the news again because their new, he's not a president. I don't even know what the hell to call this guy. I guess you could call him their president, but he's like a military leader that's now in charge of the country, that ended up flying over to the Victory Day parade. Yeah, he is just massacring people. And I mean, just straight up, like, his forces are just straight up massacring people. But the international community is kind of turning a blind eye because he's massacring a bunch of radical Islamists. He himself is a Muslim, and they're just tired of all this crap, and they're going after him and killing him left and right. Whew. So kind of a crazy day over there for them as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a freaking nutso day as far as all these people are concerned. Other than that, not a lot has really been happening. We had a shooting that took place over near the West Bank, over near the West Bank, inside Israeli territory, where a woman was on the way to the hospital. She was pregnant. Terrorist group ended up coming across the street and ended up freaking shooting up her car, ended up like killing her. Husband raced her off to the hospital. They delivered the baby, and she died, and it looks like the baby is currently fighting for its life. I didn't hear whether or not I didn't hear whether or not she or the baby ended up living, to be honest with you. There's a particular video on here that I'm looking for because I want you guys to see it. It is freaking awesome. Come on, where is it? I'm looking for the video of the guy getting blown up and getting freaking thrown. I'm sorry, I got to dig through a couple things to make sure it's up there. Wanted to have that up for you guys this morning, and I ended up not playing it, but you guys are going to love this sucker as soon as I grab it. It is freaking hilarious. Yeah, what else you guys got going on in your lives? Wait for it. 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 Here it is. This is from the attack yesterday over inside of Khan Yunis. The one that took out Mohammed Sinwar, allegedly, and other people. I love the fact that you have like gas that's burning on the ground afterwards. If you actually slow this sucker down, hold on, stop. If you actually slow this sucker down and you go back one frame, you can see this dude ended up getting ripped out of his shoes. This right here, this is a human being flying across the screen. And this is those bunker busters that ended up going off. Touchdown. Yep. Everybody see that? Now, here's the crazy part about this, and I like this video for a different educational reason when we end up bringing this up, because there's going to be a lot of these falling here in the next couple of weeks. And I mean, a lot of them are going to be falling here in the next couple of weeks. They got a lost snack bar. Yep, rest in peace, Bozo. I'll play it all the way through. But if we go back to the beginning of this video where it like first starts, okay, and you see kind of like where everybody's at during the beginning, okay, you kind of see where they're walking. And you see how these guys are just sitting right here, and that bomb slams into the ground. You got to remember, this 2,000-pound sucker just freaking boom right in the ground. It's only got about 500 pounds of explosives in it. So it ends up impacting right here. But I want you to notice that that bomb slammed into the ground probably about 30 meters away from them. Maximum about 30 meters away from them. And they are perfectly okay. Wow. Talk about a freaking freeze frame, baby. Holy cow, man. How did I freeze frame that sucker? Wow. Dude, that's one hell of a freeze frame. I'm gonna try. I can try that again if I couldn't do that again if I tried. No idea where that guy came from. None. No idea. He got yeeted like mad, though. Absolutely yeeted. Yeeted. Dude got FK ragdolled. Is Melania from Estonia or Latvia? I don't remember where she's from. I could really care less, to be honest with you. U.S. citizen, as far as I know. This is the wild part to me as well. You see all the dirt and all that crap, like the sidewalk that just ended up getting like uplifted. But that guy, dude, he's not hurt. Obviously, the ground ended up getting freaking, whatever, completely destroyed because he had a 2,000-pound freaking bomb like smash into it. Gas coming out of the ground. Very good question. Obviously, we ended up seeing like a bunch of black smoke and all sorts of other crap that was indicative of, like weapon stockpiles, munitions, and all that other shit. There you see it caving in, and now you've got all that crap going down. This freaking insane video. Absolute insane video. Cue the R. Kelly music, I Believe I Can Fly. I might actually make a video of that tomorrow and put it on Twitter. I might actually do that. The flying person looked like a female. Nah, man, I'm pretty sure that was a dude. 100% that was a dude. Beyond the shadow of a doubt, that was a dude that went flying. But it's pretty impressive when you really think about it, that a 2,000-pound bomb hit like right over there, and this is the end result. A lot of people end up looking at that and thinking that like you'd end up having a lot more damage. And this is why I get kind of pissed off when people bring up bunker busters being like these massive, like insane bombs that they end up dropping and all this other crap. And I think this is probably one of the best videos that I've seen so far come out of Gaza. That actually shows what happens on the ground when you have a bomb of this scale that actually strikes. Yeah, it looked like a skinny dude. Thank you. And I don't remember seeing any women walking on the street over there either when that happened. And I don't see any women on the screen yet. I don't think I've seen any at this point. They're all running the opposite direction. So it looks like this is one of the first ones that ended up smacking down. The rest ended up going the other way. But yeah, take a look at how that concrete, is like separating, going in the direction that everybody's running from. Can you guys all see that? Like if we go back to where this is at, you guys see how all the concrete's separating, going back in this direction. You notice how everybody's like running over towards the camera and coming towards you. But you notice as it goes down this particular street right here, none of the ground ended up cracking because nothing underway is giving. Right? You have that tunnel that's under there, the explosive goes in, and it ends up sending that pressure down that tunnel, and that pressure is picking up and pushing that earth, causing all that cracking to go down. So 100% it's in there, right? For people that are saying, well, what about it? It could have been a sewer system, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No. All right. No. Because if they ended up having like those sewer systems running underneath the streets like that, and that particular nature, why are we not seeing it in any other directions? Why is it not going anywhere else? I don't think they actually have those types of freaking, plumbing systems and stuff like that in place. Hummus is delicious, though. You guys want to see like the beginning of the yeet one more time? Why not? Yeet. If I'm going to get demonetized, might as well do it correctly. It is Team Meathead, yeah. Mostly military-age males, though. Nope, Solid Earth coming back. So much sand. Yeah, right. Well, and it's like, again, you've got that fire that's just eking out of the ground, so it ended up striking some sort of freaking fuel, all right? Bombs don't do that. Bombs don't just sit around and randomly burn when they end up cooking off, all right? They don't do that. And then you see the ground just slowly collapse underneath, showing that cavity that ended up getting created. Obviously, you're going to yeet some earth out when that sucker explodes, but it ain't like that. The majority of that shit is actually contained in the ground. It's just designed to freaking cause that big disruption over inside. Could have been a gas line. You're right. Could have been a gas line. Very well. But then why the collapse on top of it, right? Why the collapse to that extent? That's a lot of dirt. It doesn't look like it right there when that sucker ends up collapsing in, but I want you to think about the amount of earth that just actually fell in there, right? That's like a dump truck full of freaking, like, I mean, that is a buttload of dirt. It just ended up collapsing in there, and you still have it all coming out. Also could be weapons, also could be fuel, also could be precursors that they're storing under the ground. Could be a heck of a lot of different things. Could be a lot of different things. LiDAR found something. Yeah, I mean, they definitely found something, went over there and got after these people. But I mean, that's just one hell of a freaking, this is probably one of the craziest videos. Yeah. So buried in the earth somewhere in there is allegedly where Mohammed Sinwar and the other two knuckleheads are all kept there. So I don't know how they're going to ever confirm it. Truthfully, I doubt the IDF's going to go in there and try to dig any of their dang bodies out of the ground, or even if they could, by the time they get down there, they're going to have a heck of a lot more problems going on. The strike was on the outside of Khan Yunis, off to the side. And the IDF did, in fact, drop flyers over inside of Jabalia telling them that they need to get the hell out of Dodge, because after this strike, Israel ended up having a bunch of rockets launched at it. There was another ballistic missile, I believe, that was fired today, if I remember correctly. And Israel, because of that, ended up issuing evacuation warnings for Jabalia and telling people to Jabalia and telling them to get the hell out of Dodge. And that, to me, is, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but they generally speaking, with about 72 hours of giving evacuation notices, end up pushing in there and pushing in hard. And I haven't heard of it yet. I could be wrong, but I haven't heard of it yet. I haven't heard of them going in. So we'll see how it goes. With that being said, that brings up Iran. Right, because if Israel now starts launching and clearing operations into Gaza, now that brings up Iran. We have the Palestinians allegedly that want to do another hostage exchange or negotiation, or at least that's what the word on the street is. I don't think that's actually going to come through. I don't think that's actually going to happen. Netanyahu ended up saying that if they want to do the hostage exchange, that they're going to have to, or any sort of like peace talk or negotiation, they're going to end up having to do it under fire. So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. That's that. Baloney missed cloud number one. Yeah, man, he went for a freaking, he went flying, absolutely flying. 3029DZ said, lost 1,000 followers. Yeah, we did. We actually lost probably about 5 or so, and then ended up gaining all of them back. So I think we lost 5 and then gained back 4,000. Every time I put out some agenda on this channel, and that's something that a lot of people, if this is your first time in here, I say things that piss everybody off. I say things that piss off the left. I say things that piss off the right. I say things that piss off the pro-Russians, the Israelis, the pro-Ukrainians, freaking pro-Palestinians. I don't care who you are. Chances are, if you watch this channel long enough, you're going to get butthurt. All right. It's just the way it goes. But my job is not to sugarcoat things. My job is to bring you the best that I can of the facts of the things that are going on. If you want somebody that's going to blow smoke up your butt, you came to the wrong place. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to try to give you the honest to God's truth to the best that I know it. And if I've got corrections to issue, I'll issue corrections. If I make a mistake, I'll own up to it. It's not a big deal to me. I don't really care. So if you like that, subscribe to the channel. Do that. Make sure you're subbed to the channel. Make sure you guys' notifications are turned on. Well, yeah, I didn't want that 1K anyways, right? Pissed me off once, but I got over it just right. Yeah. People. Yeah. I remember, oh man, dude, you guys got so upset. When Trump first took office and he was going off with Zelensky, and I was like, just watch, give it time, just give it a little bit of time. And now we've got all that other crap that's starting to flow back in there. It just is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's politics, and they're over there doing politics right now. And I told you guys last year, whether or not we like it, those politics absolutely play into what the hell goes on the freaking ground. Right now, we've kind of ground to a halt, and so we've got like a much bigger, broader overview. As soon as, this channel is not for the emotionally insecure. You are 100% correct. Su Wong Kong, the big screen weenie got my ass. I can't feel it. Ooh, I'm sorry. The big green weenie got you, bro. I hope it didn't get you in the form of field grade or something of that nature. You didn't say anything that you don't support with facts. Correct. And if there is an opinion, I clearly say it's opinion. Jared Hoff, they can't handle the truth. Yeah, dude. And again, good riddance. We don't need them if they can't. Jerry Seabach says, you piss me off regularly, but I just have to remember you were Army trained. Yeah, I don't think Army trained really gives you the ability to do this job. I think having like critical thinking skills, the other thing that I try to build. So that's what I try to do. Go Army, beat Navy. Yep, there we go. I could actually care less who wins that football game. I really don't care. I really don't. I really don't care who wins any sports. I'm not a sports fan. I don't care what football team you root for. I don't care what basketball team you root for, as long as you do not support radical Islam or communism or Russians. I'm perfectly happy, right? Like, I'm good. You're good in my books. If you're just not a shit human being like that, you're good in my books. And you don't. And you don't do weird things to animals or kids. If you mess with any of those things, like that's where I draw the line, and we can't be friends. So there's that. Or you don't work, or you're lazy. I hate lazy people too. Yep. Okay. Rant complete. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard